Hello everyone, Weather Jamaica here. Welcome to this updated video on the weather across Jamaica and the rest of the Caribbean. It is Wednesday evening, October 16, 2024. Now before we jump into it, please ensure that you guys like the video. I'd really appreciate it if you guys get this video up to 100 likes. If you don't know by now, that's how the YouTube algorithm works. We all like the video and then the YouTube algorithm pushes the video out to more persons who are in the path of these tropical systems so that we can keep everyone safe, especially during the peak of Atlantic hurricane season. That's August through to October. Share this video with your friends, your co-workers, your relatives, and even your church brethren, and subscribe if you haven't yet done so. Leave a comment down below, letting me know what the that's been like in your recently. Also, feel free to ask any weather related question that you might have about the future of the weather in your specific area. Alright, so let us take a look at the U.S. National Hurricane Center 7-day graphical tropical weather look. And we can see that as of their latest update that just came out at 7:22 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, which is actually 6:22 p.m. Jamaica time, so about 62 minutes ago, we can see that we still have that broad area of low pressure across portions of Central America, that code yellow, that has a 20% chance of cyclone formation within the next 7 days. And we still have that code orange, that tropical wave across the main development region, that still has a medium chance of development as it pushes towards the west over the next 7 days. And if we take a look at the visible satellite images of the Atlantic before the sun went down, we can make out all of these entities. The clouds associated with the tropical wave interacting with the broad area of low pressure across the southwestern Caribbean Sea. Lots of clouds, showers, and thunderstorms occurring as we speak. And we can also see the clouds associated with that strong tropical wave that has a medium chance of development as it pushes towards the west over the next 7 days. If we look back at the information that the Hurricane Center is stating, first of all, let's look at what they've stated about the code yellow. They've stated here, showers and thunderstorms over the southwestern Caribbean Sea are associated with a broad area of low pressure. Some gradual development is possible over the next couple of days if the system stays over water while it moves slowly northwestward toward Central America. Regardless of development, locally heavy rainfall is possible across portions of Central America and southern Mexico late this week and into the weekend. And we see that they've given it a 20% chance of cyclone formation within the next 48 hours as well as the next 7 days. Regarding the other system, they've stated here, showers and thunderstorms are associated with a trough of low pressure located several hundred miles east of the Leeward Islands, remaining disorganized. This system is forecast to move generally westward to west-northwestward, and the environmental conditions appear marginally conducive for gradual development late this week and into the weekend. A tropical depression could form as the system moves near the Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico on Friday, then near the Greater Antilles over the weekend. And we see that they've given the system a 30% chance of cyclone formation within the next 2 days and a 40% chance of cyclone formation within the next 7 days. And we can even see a kind of curving to the system. So yes, pushing westward, then to the west-northwest, then kind of looking like it's going to be curving back to the west or maybe even south of west into Hispaniola and then later on maybe Jamaica, just like what the models have been trending. And before we even look at the spaghetti models, let us take a closer look at this system. We can definitely see the showers and thunderstorms associated with this system still bubbling up. Right here, we can see the blues, the greens, the yellows, the oranges, the reds, the blacks, and even the purples in there. That we know represents that deep convection. Definitely trying to get its act together, but struggling still. Some dry air, some wind shear, still contending with, but it's definitely going to be making its way up to tropical storm status before all is said and done with it. And I'll definitely be here to keep you posted with what occurs. If we take a look at the track guidance, these numerous supercomputer models definitely showing the same kind of pattern, pushing to the west, then to the west-northwest, then back to the west, and then possibly to the west-southwest, maybe even through the windward passage between Haiti and Cuba, and then possibly down into portions of Jamaica. We'll see how that goes, and we'll see if it's actually still, whatever it is, possible tropical storm, if not a tropical depression, or just back to an area of low pressure like it is now. Even if it is, we're still in for some amount of rainfall, and it's just a waiting game at this point. And if we take a look at the model intensity guidance, we can see that by about the next 3 days, that's when most of these models seem to be bumping it up to tropical storm status for sure. And we can see that, so let's say by about, let's say Thursday, Friday, Saturday, by Saturday the system should be a tropical storm, if not sooner than that. We see a lot of the models already taking it to tropical storm status even within the next 24 hours. By Thursday, Friday, we'll see exactly what unfolds. Let's see if it actually makes it up to hurricane status, like what these two models are showing, the HWFI and the SHIPS model. We know tropical storm status is anywhere from 35 knots to 65 knots, and anywhere from 66 knots all the way up to 18 knots or so. That's a category 1. We'll see if it actually makes it up to that kind of intensity as time goes on. I'll definitely be here to keep you posted with exactly what occurs. And if we take a look at what the two main supercomputer models are showing, first we're going to be looking at the Euro model, and we're going to be going on to the next 168 hours, so keep your eyes on the timestamp. And we're also going to be focusing our attention right here from the Eastern Caribbean to the Western Caribbean. And we're going to be looking for the moisture as represented by the greens, the yellows, as well as the isobars around an area of low pressure. So let's see what we see here. Just going on to the next 168 hours on the Euro, and then we're going to be doing the same on the GFS. But first things first, as we look forward, we can see that as early as 9Z on Thursday, which is actually 4 a.m. on Thursday, we still have a lot of moisture across portions of Jamaica, the Cayman Islands, Central America, associated with that tropical wave interacting with that low pressure in the southwestern Caribbean. So we still have a lot more rainfall to receive before whatever comes off the system across the main development region gets to our portion of the basin. And as we continue to go out in time, even into Friday, we still have some amount of moisture lingering. 6Z on Friday, as we know, is 1 a.m. on Friday. And then we start to see the system. It's right here. We see the darker greens, we see the yellows. It's right there to the north of the Leeward Island by 15D on Friday, which is actually 10 a.m. if I'm not mistaken, 10 a.m. on Friday. And then as we continue to go out in time, we see it definitely pushing westward, closer, inching closer to the Dominican Republic. Definitely gonna be lashing portions of the Turks and Caicos for sure. And then we see it right there affecting portions of southeastern Cuba. Some of the moisture even making it into portions of Jamaica right there. Lots of moisture making it into portions of Jamaica. Could it be associated with a frontal system that's currently across the southeastern United States? But it's definitely gonna be lingering in that spot and interacting with that cold front. So definitely a lot of moisture, more than anything else, before all is said and done. And then we can see by the time we get on to the 168 hours, this is about 12Z on Wednesday, which is actually 7 a.m. We see that most of the moisture starts to finally lift to the north of Hispaniola and Puerto Rico right there. Let us see what the GFS is forecasting. So first of all, this is 18Z on Thursday, which is actually 1 p.m. on Thursday. And we can definitely still see a lot of greens that represents moisture coming into Jamaica, anywhere from 1 to 5 inches, could be more. Some flash flooding is definitely going to be possible, especially given the rainfall that we had today on Wednesday. We can see a lot of that still going to be affecting the Western Caribbean, Central America for sure, as we continue to go out in time. Can't really make out the area of low pressure, but it's somewhere here to the north of Puerto Rico by the end of the 108 hours that we just saw. And then we start to see most of the moisture lifting right there to the north of the Leeward Island. So it's not doing that thing that we just saw the Euro doing, coming closer to Hispaniola, then dipping. But we still see that there's going to be a lot of moisture affecting portions of the Caribbean in general. So regardless of development into the next name system, which should be Nadine, there's still going to be a lot of rainfall that's expected within the next 7 days. This map from the Euro and this map from the GFS are both showing all the rainfall that's expected from now up until Wednesday, October 23. Look at the dark shades of reds. Look at the burgundies. Look at the purples into the pinks that we all know represents anywhere from 2 to 3 to even 4 inches of rainfall. And we see that both the Euro and the GFS models are in consensus with this. Jamaica is right here getting in on the mix, especially on the Euro model. The Euro has been very consistent with the amount of rainfall. GFS showing an abundance of rainfall, but not as much as what the Euro is showing with all of those purples and pinks that we know represents the 3 to 4 inch range. You can see a lot of that across portion of the Cayman Islands, into portions of Belize, Guatemala, Honduras, and the Yucatan Peninsula of Mexico. They're definitely going to be in for a lot of rainfall, and flash flooding is definitely going to be possible. And it's not only those areas that are going to be getting a lot of rainfall within the next 7 days, but even portions of the Bahamas, Cuba, the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, the US and British Virgin Islands might get in on some of the action as well. And 'tis the season, it's October. For most of these Caribbean islands, October is the wettest month of the year, so it's not abnormal for these kind of things to be happening. So we have to be on the alert. Turn around, don't drown if we come upon flooded roadways. Rivers are definitely going to be in spate for sure before the month is all said and done. If we take a look at the surface map of the Atlantic for this evening, just as stated, we definitely have a cold front across portions of the southeastern United States, Florida getting in on some of the action, a trough right here across the Bahamas, the tropical wave that's now interacting with the broad airflow pressure across the southwestern Caribbean. Now to the west of Jamaica, we can see the other tropical wave associated with that low pressure area across the main development region, and the ridge of high pressure to the northwest of it that's definitely steering the system westward. If we take a look at the visible satellite images of the Atlantic before the sun went down, we can definitely make out these entities, the clouds associated with the cold front right there across portion of Florida. Right here, we can also see the clouds associated with the trough across portion of Cuba and the Bahamas, and we can see the clouds associated with that tropical wave trying to get its act together, the one that's interacting with the broad area of spin in the southwestern Caribbean. And we can see the clouds associated with that low pressure area, the tropical wave right there to the east of the Leeward Islands. We'll be talking more about the rest of the Caribbean to the later on. Let us focus our attention on the prediction that was made in yesterday's video about the weather across Jamaica for today, Wednesday, October 16, 2024. It was stated that parts of southern and eastern Jamaica would have received some rainfall last night into Wednesday morning, and then parts of northern and western parishes would have received rainfall during Wednesday afternoon. And just for reference, we know southern parishes, we're talking about those parishes on the bottom side, like Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth, Manchester, Clarendon, St. Catherine, Kingston, St. Andrew, and St. Thomas. Eastern parishes, you know, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Surrey, like Portland, St. Andrew, Kingston, St. Thomas. Northern parishes, you know, we're talking about those parishes on top, like Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, St. Anne, St. Mary, Portland. While western parishes, you know, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Cornwall, like Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth, Hanover, St. James, and Trelawney. And even although we didn't make a post about what was happening last night into early this morning, we definitely had some comments from our followers on our YouTube page. 19 hours ago, when our previous video was posted, we had Jamaican All-Purpose Vibes 5238 confirming the rainfall in her area or his area, stating rain in my area of St. Elizabeth. Now that was just a little after the video was posted 19 hours ago. And then this morning we had Kevin Aris, if I'm not butchering your name, stating that yes, good morning, Clarendon got rain in the after 1 last night, just to confirm that there was some amount of rainfall affecting the island last night into early this morning. And then as the day progressed into midday, we had to highlight the heavy rainfall on our Twitter page. And I'd like for you to keep in mind that what we highlighted was not only posted here on our Twitter page at Weather Jamaica, but it was also posted on our Instagram page at Weather.Jamaica, on our TikTok page at Weather Jamaica, and on our Facebook page at Weather Jamaica 876. So if you have one of those social media platforms, please ensure that you follow us there as we make posts throughout the day that you can't afford to miss. So we highlighted the fact that Crossroads was definitely getting in on a heavy downpour for sure. Right there at around noon, definitely some heavy rainfall, flood triggering rainfall at that, definitely blanketing the corporate area in a mass of white. Definitely some heavy rainfall lashed the area. And even as the afternoon progressed, 1:25 p.m, we still had the infrared satellite images coming in, being posted, highlighting the clouds coming in from the south, bringing some heavy rainfall to sections of St. Elizabeth, Manchester, Clarendon, St. Catherine, Kingston, St. Andrew, St. Thomas, Portland, sections of St. Mary, and the afternoon definitely brought that thunderstorm to portion of northern Jamaica as well. So sections of St. Anne, section of Trelawney, St. James got on that thunderstorm activity. We saw the sparkling white dots right there that indicate the lightning strikes, if not lightning flashes. And if we take a look at the visible satellite images of Jamaica before the summer though, we can see that before we started to wrap up the afternoon with the rainfall, we had a lot of clouds across the island, especially across the northern portions exiting the waters to the north. We also had some clouds right there to the south of St. Thomas and St. Andrew to signal we were getting some out of isolated shores before the day was all done. And looking at the infrared satellite images, we can definitely see that for the most part, most of it is trying to clear out, but for how long? Because there's a lot more activity that's expected later on tonight into early tomorrow. So enjoy the calm right now while it lasts. And if we take a look at See Jamaica's YouTube channel showing the flat bridge cam, this was when they were getting in on that heavy rainfall at around 12 p.m, the same time that Kingston was getting in on their fair share of heavy rainfall. Look at this, definitely some heavy rainfall lashing the flat bridge at that time. The river definitely not in spate yet. It's right now that the river is actually in spate as of the latest live cams. We can definitely see the river rushing, people definitely traversing for sure. We can definitely see the difference between what was just shown and what's happening now. Water definitely rushing. Not sure if it's actually decreasing or if it's going to be rising with the possible rainfall that could be lingering up in the hills. Who knows? Either way, proceed with caution. And if we take a look at the Barbican cam, you can definitely see that the area was getting on some heavy rainfall as well at around 12:10 p.m. Definitely persons going about their business, windshield wipers on, some isolated flash flooding taking place for sure. And we definitely have some confirmation of the heavy rainfall from one of our followers right here, Prophetic Psalmist, showing the heavy rainfall that was affecting portions of New Kingston today. Look at this, water running, heavy downpour lashing the New Kingston area for sure. And if we take a look at the accumulated precipitation for the past 24 hours from the CIMH, that's the Caribbean Institute for Meteorology and Hydrology website, we can definitely see where we had that rainfall. This map does indeed paint quite the picture of where we had that rainfall. The purples into the blues, the greens, all the way into the yellows. That represents what we see on the key on the bottom, the millimeters of our rainfall. Could be less than what this map is actually showing. Could be more in some spot. We definitely had some rainfall across the island today. Most areas, not necessarily all areas, so don't be upset if you didn't get rainfall today. You could get in on some of the action tomorrow for sure. And we definitely have some updates here from the Jamaica Constabulary Force. They stated 5 hours ago that the Marcus Garvey Drive and Grand Spen Ford in Kingston were impassable, but they posted an update 2 hours ago stating the east-west bound lane of the Marcus Garvey Drive is now open to vehicular traffic. And they also posted some updates regarding the Birdsucker Lane of Barbican in St. Andrew, stating that it was impassable. And they also showed some pictures of the inundation that was taking place. Look at the very murky water right there. Some vehicles swamped for sure. This is why we say turn around, don't drown. Even in this event where we see the water rushing across, don't try to chance it. Your vehicles might be swept away. They might just shut off. This is why we always say turn around, don't drown. Look at this. This is somebody trying to be rescued because they went ahead in the murky waters because they thought their vehicle could handle it. No, your vehicles are not invincible. They can definitely shut down and leave you stranded. We don't want to hear anything about anybody being washed away and losing their life. So always do the right thing. Turn around, go back to somewhere. Wait it out. There's no rush to go where you're going right now. All the rain needs to do is cool down so that the water can run off. There's no need to actually go through that water, especially when it looks like this and we don't know how high it is. We don't want to be caught in a situation like this. This is just a lot more money that we all don't have. And we definitely have some comments here from some of our followers on our Twitter page. We had Rose Alvaranga stating, was raining here in Junction, but now just cloudy. Cardi D stating, raining downtown now, that was 5 hours ago. Christopher also posting 3 hours ago, lovely rain. Even on our Facebook page, we had the comments coming in from Shadi Atkins, raining in Maypen. O'Brien Morgan, Manchester, raining. Tricia Mackenzie, Jack Hill, rain. We also had Presania Powell, heavy rain in St. Thomas. Emma Reed, heavy rain in Spanish Town also. Demise Young, raining here in Kingston. Also have Sylvia Bando, very, very windy and raining now in Brownstown, St. Anne. We even have some comments coming in on our Threads page. I don't highlight the Threads page that much, considering that it is just a subset of Instagram. Either way, we had some comments coming in. One right here from Carl's tweet stating, raining heavily in Arcadia. Andrew underscore Zemp stating, Greater Portmore getting rain. And even a comment here from an international follower, retired Canadian, stating, hopefully it's gone when I arrive October 29. Well, unfortunately, it's the rainy month, so I can't even tell you what the weather is going to be like in October 29. Either way, proceed with caution. We want to enjoy Jamaica, but it could be raining, but come still. Hopefully there's nothing bad that's occurring at that time. We also have some comments coming in here on our Instagram page. Chevy underscore Chev stating, heavy rain in Old Harbor and Spanish Town. Realm underscore JA, heavy rain and wind in Portmore as of 11:30. We have Super Mom underscore 19, same here in Manchester, Walderston. Jamaican underscore Queen 587, rain, and I'm loving it. And we also have Robinson Andrew 37, water wet up zinc concrete and board on Old Harbor Road. And finally, Fee underscore owner 90 stating, rain and lots of wind in St. Anne. And if we take a look at the very latest infrared satellite image of Jamaica, we're going to be looking at the latest still image that just came out at 35 minutes past the hour. So this one just came out 11 minutes ago. And as stated, most of the clouds are definitely trying to clear out at this time. But for how long? We see some clouds right here to the northwest of us. We see some clouds right here to the northeast of us. We see some thunderstorms right here to the southwest of us. It's only a matter of time. This was what it looked like this morning. And then we actually had the clouds pushing in from the south. And then that's how we actually started to get in on the brunt of the heavy rainfall. As a matter of fact, we got so much heavy rainfall that on my way from Kingston back to St. Thomas, most of the rivers that we drove over were in spate. Definitely in spate. I haven't seen that in a long time where all the rivers were in spate. Just to show how intense the rainfall was throughout the day today. And it was definitely long lasting, definitely cooled down the temperatures. And we're indeed grateful for that. If we take a look at the latest Doppler radar images from the Cuban radar side, this is the latest image that just came out as of, I think it's glitched out. Let's see if I can reload it again. Yeah, I think it's glitched out because it's showing 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as the last image. But we all know that's 6:30 p.m. Jamaica time. Either way, as of that time, We saw some of that rainfall to the southwest. That could be that rainfall that we just saw in the satellite images. We can see also some of that rainfall to the northeast and to the northwest of us. Wonder what it looks like right now. If we take a look at the Guantanamo Bay Cuban Naval Radar Station, we can definitely make out that rainfall that we just saw on the Cuban Doppler radar right there to the northeast of Jamaica. More so light to moderate rainfall. Some yellows in there closer to the southeastern coast of Cuba. That represents some heavy rainfall. Some rainfall also across the western peninsula of Haiti right there. And if we take a look at the Cayman radar, we can definitely make out what's happening right now. Some rainfall to the north of the Cayman Islands, some rainfall to the south of the Cayman Islands. Definitely, that tropical wave definitely moistening up the atmosphere in general. So there's a lot more rainfall to come too. And as stated, the flat bridge, although people are being warned that it's in spate, people are still driving over it. Hopefully it's actually receding as we speak. Either way, there's a lot more rainfall coming within the next 24 hours. And the Meteorological Service of Jamaica has issued a flash flood watch for all southern parishes until tomorrow. So be on the alert. Don't want to hear anything else coming out of Flatbridge. I think it was last week, if not earlier this week, that some persons lost their life because of them falling off of the banking and heading up into the river. Boy, this river has taken so many lives. Don't want to hear anything else about that at all, so please keep safe. If we take a look at the temperatures right now, we can see that we have 26 degrees Celsius in both Montego Bay and Kingston. And by about 4 a.m. on Thursday, temperature should dip down to about 25 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 24 degrees Celsius in Kingston. And if we take a look at the temperature forecast for tomorrow, this map from the GFS is valid for 18th on Thursday when calculated. That's about 1 p.m. on Thursday. And we can see Jamaica right here, embedded in some grays and some slight blue colors. The grays and the blue colors are representative of average to slightly below average temperatures. And the below average temperatures could definitely be because of the rainfall that we're going to be experiencing. We've already been getting in on that below average temperatures today. And there seems to be more of that, especially with the tropical wave that's going to be bringing more rainfall tomorrow. We know average temperatures for the month of October for Jamaica are about the same as 89 degrees Fahrenheit. 89 degrees Fahrenheit when calculated is about the same as 31 degrees Celsius. So we should be receiving anywhere from 30 to 31 degrees Celsius at most, given the at least 1 degree Celsius below normal temperature forecast that we have. And if the temperatures are too hot for you, just do the right thing. Eat fresh fruit. Try eating cold foods such as salads, fruits. Limit the non-essential strenuous activity during the hottest parts of the day. And always, I cannot stress this enough, even if you're not thirsty, keep hydrated. Drink lots of water instead. Put away the sugary drinks. I know they can be very tempting, but your body is made up of more water than anything else. So replenish it with more water. If we take a look at the Saharan dust forecast for 2 p.m. on Thursday, we can see a majority of the basin, South America, the Caribbean, Central America, North America, definitely in the clear. All the Saharan dust that we had has dissipated, it has dwindled. All we see right now is some browns that represent the Saharan dust right there off the coast of Africa into portion of the eastern main development region. And that's basically it. We hope it stays over there. Hope it doesn't make it westward at all, because we know the Saharan dust can cause hazy skies, not to mention trigger some amount of respiratory illnesses in some persons, asthma, sinusitis, you name it. Don't need any of the Saharan dust right now. If we take a look at the wave forecast for tomorrow, it makes sense that considering that we have a cold front that's going to be causing a lot of strong wind across the Gulf of Mexico into portions of the waters to the east of the United States, it's going to be causing some high wave heights. The purples we know represents 2 to maybe all the way up to 5 meter wave heights, while the blues that we see across the western to the central to the eastern Caribbean that we know represents anywhere from 1 to 1.5 meter wave heights. That's what's going to be expected, because the winds are going to be averaging anywhere, as you can see by the greens right here, anywhere from 10 to 20 knots at most. We can definitely see that flow from the east across the Caribbean, curving northward around that area of low pressure. We can definitely see the spin right here across the southwestern Caribbean. And we can definitely make out the strong winds that this cold front is going to be bringing to portions of Florida, portion of the Bahamas, northwestern Cuba. You can see the bright greens, you can see the yellows, anywhere from 20 to 25, maybe all the way up to 30 knot winds across those spots. And we can also see the king to the winds right here associated with that broad trough of low pressure that the hurricane center is watching for development. But regarding the winds across Jamaica for tomorrow, we can definitely see that we still are in for more so of an east-southeasterly, maybe more of an easterly flow across the island tomorrow. So anything that comes off of the sea from the east, definitely for St. Thomas and Portland, pushing westward for sure. If we get some afternoon rainfall, more than likely it's going to be in that area where we have the least amount of winds. That's where all the air is going to be piling up. Those low-level clouds becoming mid-level rain clouds, if not upper-level cumulonimbus clouds. So look out for that. And if we take a look at the actual rainfall forecast maps now. So as stated, as of the latest image, not seeing much happening across Jamaica right now. But this map from the Euro and this map from the GFS are both valid for 12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's midnight tonight, which is actually 11 p.m. Jamaica time. What time is it? It is 6 minutes to 8. So they're stating, well, the models are stating that within the next 3 hours there should be some amount of rainfall, because we can see by the blues that we know represents rainfall. It should be affecting portion of southern and eastern parishes in Jamaica. Take these forecasts with a grain of salt. We don't want anyone to be disappointed if they don't get any night rainfall later on tonight to cool down the temperature so that they can sleep like a baby. These models aren't 100% accurate. They are not set in stone. Either way, we always look to them for their consensus. We look to them for the agreement. And usually when they're in agreement, then it actually comes to fruition. Just like today, they agreed that it would rain, especially during the morning into the afternoon. And we definitely got that. But right now, they're forecasting some late night rainfall for southern and eastern parishes again. Then as we continue to go out in time, this map from the Euro and this map from the GFS are both valid for 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is actually 6 a.m. Jamaica time. And we still see the blues, especially on the GFS, in and around the island, especially on the eastern and the southern portion of the island too. The Euro a bit more robust with the darker blues, the greens, the yellows that represent what we can see by the key on the bottom, bumping up in the millimeters of rainfall. And if this actually comes to fruition, some more isolated flash flooding could be possible for especially some southern parishes, just like what the Met Service stated. And then look at this map from the GFS and this map from the Euro are both valid for 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is actually 10 a.m. Jamaica time. And we still see the rainfall. That should be affecting eastern, central, and western parishes for sure. GFS starting to incorporate the darker blues and the greens more so to the south of the island. Euro has a lot of that across the southwestern portion of the island, Manchester, St. Elizabeth. We'll see how that goes. Then finally, as we wrap up the day, well, as we head into the afternoon, not necessarily wrap up the day, the afternoon is still showing rainfall. This is 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is actually 1 p.m. Jamaica time. And we still see rainfall all the way from the east to the western end of the island. That's on the Euro. This is for the GFS. GFS showing more of the rainfall across the central to the western end. Eastern Jamaica not so much at that time. Either way, both accumulated precipitation forecast maps are in consensus that it's going to be raining somewhere across Jamaica tomorrow. This map from the Euro and this map from the GFS are both showing all the rainfall that's expected from now up until 3Z on a Friday. When calculated, that's all the rainfall that's expected from now up until 10 p.m. on a Thursday. And we do see the greens, we do see the yellows, we do see the oranges, the reds that represent all the way up to 1 inch of rainfall, as we can see by the key on the right, especially for southern and eastern parishes. Euro a bit more robust, showing even the burgundy colors, the darker reds, especially across the southern and eastern end. 1.73 inches, 1.69 inches. We'll see how that goes. Clearly the Euro is onto something, because yesterday, if you remember, we were stating which one of the models would win. Would it be the Euro or the GFS? And the Euro definitely won it with the amount of rainfall that we got today. definitely want it. So maybe the Euro will win it again with the amount of rainfall being predicted. So be on the alert, especially with the flash flood watch that is in effect from the Meteorological Service of Jamaica. And we're indeed grateful for the rainfall. We're not grateful for the flooding or the damage that the rainfall causes, but we're grateful. The rainfall is here to keep water in our pipes. It's best to get rainfall than none at all. The rainfall is here to cool down the temperatures. And clearly during the month of October, we usually receive the most rainfall for the entire island. In Kingston, we usually receive 170 millimeters. That's what, 7 inches of rainfall. In Montego Bay, we usually receive up to 8.5 inches of rainfall. That's about 212 millimeters of rainfall. And keep in mind that you can visit this website right here, and you can see what your specific parish receives throughout the year in terms of rainfall and the rain gauge. And you can do the math yourself regarding the fact that 1 inch of rainfall is about the same as 25 millimeters of rainfall. So you can do the calculations if you so please to do so. If we take a look at what's happening across the rest of the Caribbean, we can see that we do indeed have some isolated showers coming into portion of the Eastern Caribbean for sure, regardless of a tropical wave in the air. We see that tropical wave to the east of there that's going to be affecting portion of the island starting as early as, let's say, Friday for sure. It should be there. You can see the clouds associated with the trough bring some amount of rainfall to the Bahamas, sections of the Yucatan Peninsula, Cuba, definitely lashing portion of the Cayman Islands, Central America and Jamaica today. Maybe some more of that tomorrow, just like what we just saw on the forecast maps. And if we take a closer look at the Doppler radar images of the northeastern Caribbean to confirm what we're seeing there in the satellite images, we can definitely see the isolated hit or miss showers anywhere to the north of Guadeloupe, Antigua and Barbuda, St. Kitts and Nevis, in and around St. Martin, in and around the British and US Virgin Islands for sure. And if we put these Doppler radar images into motion, we can definitely see where the rainfall affected portion of western Puerto Rico today. The waters to the north of Puerto Rico, we can definitely see that flow more so from the east. If we take a look at the Barbados radar, we can see that rainfall coming in from the east. Some of that rainfall could definitely affect portion of Barbados tonight. Some rainfall passing to the north of Barbados, heading into portion of Martinique. Section of St. Lucia might get into some of the action. So too section of St. Vincent, the Grenadines, Grenada definitely getting nailed as we speak. And we can also see some rainfall right there coming into portions of Trinidad as well as Tobago right there. So definitely going to be in for some more rainfall if they're already not getting that rainfall as we speak. And if we take a look at the weather wave Doppler radar images, we can definitely see some rainfall across sections of western Cuba, the Yucatan Peninsula, Belize, the waters to the east of Nicaragua, section of Colombia, not to mention sections of Venezuela getting in on some of the rainfall. And regarding where the rainfall is expected within the next 24 hours, we can definitely see the moisture plume associated with that tropical wave that's going to be coming in from the east to affect section of the Leeward Island. It's already here. The greens, the yellows, lots of moisture coming in within the next 24 hours for portions of Guadeloupe, Antigua and Barbuda, Dominica, yes, section of St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Martin, the US and British Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, and we see that both the year and the JFS models are in consensus with that. We can also see some isolated shores in the forecast for portions of Barbados, sections of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Grenada. Scrolling down, let's see what's happening across South America. You can definitely see the forecast that there's going to be some amount of rainfall for portions of Venezuela, Guyana, Colombia, Panama, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, section of Honduras, El Salvador, Guatemala, Belize, the Yucatan Peninsula, sections of the Cayman Islands definitely going to be getting in some heavy rainfall within the next 24 hours. We see the dark reds, we see the purples. You can also see portions of southern Florida getting in some of the rainfall, section of the Bahamas, Cuba, Jamaica. And we see that it's gonna be not so much across the Dominican Republic, but more of that rainfall across the western peninsula of Haiti. And we see that both the Euro and the JFS models are in consensus with this forecast. I know that when they're in consensus like this, the chances of it actually happening are much higher. Alright, so that's it for today. Thanks for watching.